Okay, sensei, everyone spoke together good. Now let's study, Yoongi said. He then starts to teach everyone. Sensei's student called out Yoongi. Yoongi turned toward students and said, "Yes, kid," Yoongi asked. "I didn't understand this. Can you tell again?" that kid said. "Sure, but now pay attention," Yoongi replied. "Okay, sensei," that kid said. Yoongi starts to teach again. Meanwhile, in home, Jimin was sitting in living room when Jin entered. "You came back early again?" Jin asked. "Yeah, Hyung, actually, I was having headache," Jimin replied. "How are you feeling now?" Namjoon asked, who just now came. "It's all right now," Hyung, Jimin replied. "That's great. Had lunch?" Namjoon asked. "No." "Jinny, Hyung just now came back," Jimin replied. "I'll make lunch after getting fresh. Till then, Junie, go and fresh up," Jin said. "Okay, babe," Namjoon replied. They both went to their room. "What should I do now?" Jimin said to himself. "What's wrong, kid?" Hoseok asked, who also just came back from his work. "Nothing, Hyung. When did you came?" Jimin asked.
"Just now. You are looking sad. Something happened?" Hoseok asked. "Nothing happened, Hyung. I'm just bored," Jimin said.
"Then go and study," Hoseok said. "Oh, come on. Study will make me more bored," Jimin said. Hoseok chuckled and said, "But aren't your exams near?" Hoseok said. Jimin was about to say something when Young Hoon, who just now came out of his room, said, "Go and fresh up, Hobie. He'll study later," Young Hoon said. Fine, Hoseok said. Hoseok went from there after kissing Hyunmin's forehead. "Ah. Thank you, Hyung, for saving me," Jimin said. "No need, but brat, study or else I won't save you more." Young Hoon Sejiman pouts and uttered. "I'll study after lunch," Jimin said. "Good," Young Hoon said. "By the way, our camping is going on day after tomorrow," Jimin said. "You'll go?" Young Hoon asked. "It's compulsory, but I'm not sure," Jimin replied. "But why?" Young Hoon asked. "I don't think Hyungs will let me go," Jimin replied. "And why won't they let you go?" Young Hoon inquired. "Because I always end up hurting myself somehow," Jimin retorted. "Ish, you're so silly, Minnie," Young Hoon said. Jimin pouts and said, "I want to go this time," Jimin said, while pouting. "Then ask Hyung, maybe they'll let you go," Young Hoon said. "I'll ask during lunch," Jimin said. "Okay," Young Hoon said. Time skips to the lunch time. In the dining room, everyone was eating lunch when Jimin said, "Hyung," Jimin said. Everyone diverted their attention to Jimin, and Jungkook said, "Yes, Minnie," Jungkook said. "Actually, my school is going for camping on day after tomorrow," Jimin said. So Jin said, "Can I also go?" Jimin asked. "You'll hurt yourself, Minnie," Hoseok said. "I won't, Hyung. Please let me go this time," Jimin said. "Fine, but promise us that you'll take care of yourself," Hoseok said. Everyone was shocked, because Hoseok is overprotective towards Jimin, and letting Jimin go somehow, and that too alone, is so shocking for everyone. "You're letting him?" Taeyoung asked. "Yeah, he should enjoy. It's his right," Hoseok said. "Wow, that's shocking," Taeyoung said. "Brat. You can go, Minnie, but take care of yourself," Hoseok said. "Okay, Hyung, I'll take care of myself," Jimin said. "Good. If something happened to you, I won't let you go again," Hoseok said. "I'll be all right," Jimin said, while pouting. "HMU should be," Hoseok said. Time skips to the next day. In the school, as always, Yoongi was standing here and students were wishing him morning. He was waiting for Jimin. When Jimin came with a small smile on his face, "Good morning, Sensei," Jimin spoke while smiling. "Morning, kid," Yoongi replied while smiling. "Sensei, do I have to study today after school time?" Jimin asked. "Yes, but maybe for some time only," Yoongi replied. "But why for some time only?" Jimin asked. "Because I have to go somewhere today," Yoongi said. "Okay, Sensei. I'm going to class now," Jimin said once from there. He came to the class and saw Baekhyun sitting. "Finally, you came," Jimin said. He hugged Baekhyun, who hugged him back. They broke the hug and Baekhyun spoke. "I was absent for 1 day only," Baekhyun said. "I got bored yesterday, you know," Jimin said. "I know," Baekhyun replied. "Well, day after tomorrow it's out camping day," Jimin said. "Well, I never went before, but if you're going then I'm also." Baekhyun said. "I'm going. Let's go together," Jimin said. "Really?" Baekhyun asked. "Yes. Are you coming?" Jimin asked. "Okay, I'll also go with you," Baekhyun said. Time skips after school time. Jimin was sitting in the class and Yoongi was teaching him. "Sensei," Jimin called Yoongi. "Yes, kid," Yoongi replied. "Are you going for camping tomorrow?" Jimin asked. "Not sure, but I'll try to come," Yoongi said. Jimin suddenly felt sad and said, "Why, Sensei?" Jimin asked. "You want me to come?" Yoongi said while smirking. Jimin cleared his throat and said, "And no." "When did I said I want you to come?" Jimin said. "All right then, I won't come," Yoongi said.
But you should. I mean, it's not like that I want you to come, but your students, excluding me, will be sad if you won't come," Jimin said.
Yoongi chuckled and said, "Then I'll try to come," Yoongi replied. "Why are you telling me? Do I care?" Jimin asked. Yeah. "You don't care. Let's continue studying," Yoongi said. He again starts to teach Jimin. Time skips to the next day. Here everyone was sitting inside the bus except one person. How's he? Obviously it's Jimin. He's always late one. "This kid told me to come and he himself didn't came." Yoongi mumbled. Baekhyun. Yoongi called Baekhyun. "Yes, Sensei," Baekhyun replied. "Isn't Jimin coming?" "We've to go now?" Yoongi asked. "He isn't picking my call, Sensei." "I tried calling him," Baekhyun replied. "Okay," Yoongi replied. The driver was about to start the bus when they heard, "Wait for me," Jimin yelled. Jimin rushed inside the bus while breathing heavily. The first thing everyone noticed was Jimin's clothes. "Hey, see, Sensei and Jimin is wearing same clothes," a girl said. "What? They're twining," other girl said. Yoongi also noticed Jimin's clothes. Unintentionally, their clothes matched.
Jimin was breathing heavily, but he looked up and saw Yoongi's clothes. "What the hell? Why are we wearing same clothes?" Jimin said.
"How am I supposed to know?" Yoongi said. "You copied me," Jimin said. "Like you show me your clothes before," Yoongi said. "Whatever," Jimin said. He went to Baekhyun and sit beside him. "Is something going on between you and Sensei?" Baekhyun asked. "Nothing. It's just unintentionally our clothes match," Jimin said. "Oh, all right," Baekhyun said. "Wanna listen music?" Jimin offered his one earpod. "Sure," Baekhyun said. He took his one earpod and they both starts to listen to music. After 1 hour they reached the place and Jimin was sleeping by now. Everyone starts to go outside. "Baekhyun, you go." "I'll wake him up," Yoongi said. "Okay, Sensei," Baekhyun replied. He went out and Yoongi starts to wake Jimin. "Jimin, kid, wake up," Yoongi said. "Let me sleep," Hyungi, Jimin said. Is he trying to make Yoonmin hard Yoongi thought egg? What the hell I'm thinking, but I'm really hard Yoongi thought again. Hey kid, wake up, Yoongi said while shaking him. Jimin woke up and said, Where am I? Jimin asked. You're my husband. We just got married, Yoongi said. Oh, what? Jimin said. Kid, we came for camping, Yoongi said. Oh yeah, I remember. Where's everyone? Jimin asked. They went out. Let's go out now, Yoongi said. Okay, Jimin said. They both went out. To be continue.